author, a speaker, a coach, an expert of any kind, I will do stuff for you so that your customers and prospects think that you are famous.
Welcome to 7 to 8, our special series on 7 to 8 figure entrepreneurs. In this special series, I interview $1 million, some $10 million, and even some $1 million business owners who uncovered their twists and turns in their entrepreneurial adventure in order to help you to avoid the potholes and stick to the fast track. Welcome now to center stage, our next special guest. Hey there, peeps. This is Michelle Nedelec, and I'm super glad that you're here with us today because I'm here with my most amazing guest, Clint. Clint, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Hey, great to be with you here from South by Southwest.
Awesome. So, one, tell us what South by Southwest is for those of us who are listening.
This is some kind of a super cool person conference. You know, I'm at some. There's like a million conferences going on here for all kinds of millennials and hipsters and CEOs and business leaders and musicians and filmmakers and all kinds of fabulous people. And right now I'm at this Fast Company right now.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it. So tell us who you are and highlight on your business.
I am Clint Arthur. You should Google me, Clint Arthur. You'll see like 5 pages of nothing but Clint Arthur marketing. When you Google me, that's my reality series. Like I'm a celebrity entrepreneur. I'm not famous. In fact, one of the first articles you'll see about me on Google is the most famous guy in the world that nobody's ever heard of. That's me. And I have created a lot of great stuff on the internet. I call it marketing, but people who see it will not call it marketing. They'll call it interviews, podcast interviews, print interviews. I've been in Forbes a couple of times. I've been on, I was in the top 10 entrepreneurs of 2022 in Success Magazine. You know, I've got millions of photos with me with famous people. I've been on television 135 times, exactly, as a matter of fact, including the Today Show and CNN and Fox Business. And, you know, I'm agnostic when it comes to being on TV. I'll go on anybody's TV show. I don't really care as long as I'm on TV. And what do I talk about on TV? Whatever you want me to talk about, I'll talk about it. I'm a celebrity entrepreneur like Tony Robbins. Do you think Tony Robbins is famous?
Yeah.
You do, right?
I do.
I could show you, when I meet you in person, Michelle, not over this Zoom, yeah. I could show you video after video after video of baristas and bank tellers and CVS store clerks. And I say, what do you think of Tony Robbins? And they say, who? Because Tony Robbins is not famous. So I love Tony. Believe me. Look,
there's people that don't know who Tony Robbins is.
Can you believe that?
Okay, that are over 25. Let's go with that.
No. I was just at a table right now. Here, I was just at this table right here.
Yeah, let's go talk to these people. Who are they? I don't believe them.
And none of these people knew who Tony Robbins was, right?
What?
Richard didn't know. And Richard did. None of them knew.
Not to call them out or anything, but we just
okay. But I love Tony Robbins, and people say, and what I do, who am I, and what do I do? Right? What I do is I create mini Tony Robbins.
Nice.
I create.
Everybody's a mini Tony Robbins. Have you seen the guy? He's huge.
Well, I create positioning for if you're an author, a speaker, a coach, an expert of any kind. I will do stuff for you so that your customers and prospects think that you are famous.
Awesome.
And it's not really deception, it's positioning. Because
so let's back up the bus a bit, because I totally want to go into how you position people and why you position them the way you do. But how did you get into celebrity marketing as a thing?
Okay, great. I always wanted to be special.
You are special. You always were. There's no denying that at all.
No, I don't know. I always wanted to be more special. When I was growing up, my parents used to argue all the time, and I thought it was my fault, and I was right.
Aww.
And And what I came up with was this grand plan in my mind, that if I could become more special, that if I could become special enough, that they would stop fighting. And the plan I came up with was I was going to go to the Wharton Business School and graduate from the best business school in the world, and that would make me special enough. And I graduate from Wharton Business School, and I go home to get the attaboys, and what happens? They get into the biggest argument of all time. My dad storms out of the house and slams the door, and I'm sitting on the couch with my mom in the living room, and I go, you know, Mom, the way he resents you all these years, have you been cheating on Dad? And I'm thinking, where did that idea even come from? I never even thought that idea before. And then I'm thinking, what kind of a rude person asks their own mother a question like that? That's the rudest thing I've ever said. And then I'm thinking, how come Mom ain't answering the question? And then Mom says, he's not your real father. Your real father was a doctor at the fertility clinic we went to for 6 years trying to have you, and you look just like that guy. And I'm like, see, what?
Are you famous on TV? Are you one of the kids off the documentary movie? Wow.
So,
Wow.
you know, the next day I call up the investment bank on the 87th floor of #1 World Trade Center. I get the vice president on the phone. Sir, I really appreciate the offer, but I don't want to be an investment banker anymore. And what did I do? Naturally, I ran out to Hollywood and I started going on auditions and writing screenplays. And that took up 13 years of my life, the last 6 of which I was behind the wheel of yellow cab number 6087.
Fun. So did your dreams come true in Hollywood?
If my dreams came true, sweetie, I wouldn't be driving a taxi for the last 6 years of those dreams, right?
And you probably wouldn't be talking to me right now either.
Right? So, but it's really fascinating the way the whole thing works. People say, do you resent the 13 years you spent chasing the Hollywood dream? And I say no, because that's where I learned the most important lesson in business, which they don't teach you at Wharton, and they don't teach it at Harvard Business School, because I've spoken at multiple events sponsored by the Entrepreneurs Club of Harvard Business School. And I asked the president of that club, do they teach what I talk about at Harvard? And they say, no, nobody talks about that at Harvard, not at Harvard Business School. And I've spoken about it at USC Business School. I speak about it at NASDAQ. I've spoken about it at the London Stock Exchange. I've spoken about it at Mercedes and Porsche and Coca Cola, and everywhere I go, I'm the only person that ever has talked about this idea of positioning you as a celebrity in the eyes of your clients and prospects, so that you can get the clients you want and get paid the high fees that you want. And this is what I call celebrity entrepreneurship. And that's how come I started doing it. And, you know, when I was on the Today Show in December 31st, 2013, that was my dream coming true.
Nice.
And I always wanted to be on the Today Show and to make my unique difference. And Brooke Shields interviewed me on the Today Show. And she goes, you know, you talk a lot about being comfortable outside of your comfort zone. I said, yeah, life begins where your comfort zone ends. And believe me, everything I do, including, you know, standing here talking in the middle of this big open room, is uncomfortable. Everything I do is uncomfortable. But life begins where your comfort zone ends. And I think about that experience. And they could have hired 1 million Columbia Journalism School graduates to interview Clint Arthur on the Today Show, and they would have done it for $1 or for free, or they may have even paid for that great opportunity to be a journalist on the Today Show. If they were smart, they would have paid. But instead, they paid Brooke Shields a lot of money. Why? Because she's not a nobody like all those Columbia Journalism School graduates. She's somebody. She's Brooke Shields. And what I have learned, the most important lesson in business, is that who you are is more important than what you actually do or sell. You may be a brain surgeon or a financial advisor or a tech expert, whatever you do. If you're an author, speaker, coach, especially an expert of any kind, consultant, advisor, who you are is more important than what you do, because what you do is done by 1 million other people. But who you are, you should be the only one who is you, and who you are should be somebody who is famous in the eyes of clients and prospects. That's what I do.
Nice. I love that. So how is celebrity branding different than kind of the personal branding that's going on right now, and kind of showcasing somebody's individuality versus this?
Okay. So most of the personal branding that's going on right now is, first of all, what are your colors? This has nothing to do with your colors of your brand. Okay. Or what is your logo? This has nothing to do with your logo. This has to do with 5 main things. And I've been using these strategies in this interview. I'll point out 3 of the strategies that I've used in the interview already. And it just goes to show you how versatile these strategies are when you know how to use them. I talked about being interviewed on the Today Show. And by the way, when I was interviewed on the Today Show, the next day I woke up and I said to my wife, you know what? I think I'm done drinking. And it's been 9 years since I've had a drink of alcohol. And I accidentally quit smoking pot 4 years before that. So I've been clean and sober for 9 years, right?
Accidentally clean and sober.
Yeah. And the reason why I was able to quit drinking the next day is because I achieved my dream, which was significance, which is the peak of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And I don't know why, I wasn't expecting it. All of a sudden, as soon as I hit the peak of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, I didn't need to drink anymore. And that's been a beautiful blessing in my life. I'm so grateful for that. But I talked about being on the Today Show. That's going on TV. TV is one of the things that we do for celebrity branding. And it's not really, look, it's not celebrity branding. It's positioning you as a celebrity entrepreneur in the eyes of customers and prospects. If you want to shortcut that long description and call it celebrity branding, okay, great. And the essential element of being a celebrity in the eyes of customers and prospects is to go on TV. That's key, because only celebrities go on TV. So if we can get you on TV, that's great celebrity positioning. The second element is celebrity attachment. I've spoken about Brooke Shields. I've spoken about Tony Robbins. Okay, who else? When Martha Stewart spoke at my conference at Carnegie Hall, I said, Martha, what's the most important thing you ever learned? She said, when I was a little girl, my daddy told me that I could do anything, and I believed him. So a lot of people, when I get to this point in the lecture, that I'm in the conversation or lecture or presentation or whatever, people are starting to think, yeah, well, Clint, I'm sure you can do that, but I could never do that, right? But the reality is that you can do anything. And Martha Stewart's daddy told her she could do anything when she was a little girl, and she believed him and was able to have 99 #1 New York Times bestselling books.
Nice. I love it. Well, in the words of, I believe it was Frank Sinatra that said, if you can do it here, you can do it anywhere. But it seems to me that if you're in New York or you're in LA, you have a high probability of getting on TV and or the celebrity status. Is that true?
That is a complete miscomprehension. It's the opposite. Okay. You want to get on New York or you want to get on TV. If you're in New York or LA, it's harder. That's where everybody, you know how many thousands of middle-aged white guys with a lot of money like me are ready to go on TV, who've been on the Today Show, who've been on Fox Business Channel already, and are ready, waiting, and able, and paying their publicists lots of money to get them on those spots every single day. The competition is brutal. That's why and this is a great question, that's why I teach people at my Celebrity Launchpad, how do you book yourself on local TV news and talk shows in cities all across America, not just your hometown. Don't even go on. You live in Des Moines, Iowa. That's the last place you should go on TV. I got a doctor, Dr. Amy Duffy, one of my great friends. She's one of my top clients. She went on 36 TV appearances before she got booked on her hometown TV show in Asheville, North Carolina.
That's and because a specialist is what? What is it? A specialist is from 1,000 miles away?
Well, the point is that when you go on in your own hometown, you want to be awesome, right? Because now she's a regular recurring guest. She just sends the girl an email who's the producer and say, hey, I want to talk about celebrity skin secrets for St. Patrick's Day. And she was on TV yesterday wearing a green shirt, just like what you're wearing as a sweater, and she's got red hair just like you. And she really looks a lot like you, as a matter of fact. And she was on TV talking about celebrity skin secrets on Fox, Asheville, North Carolina. Nice. And she goes on there all the time, and she's in the process of building real celebrity positioning in her local market. And for a doctor, the impact, I've had other doctors do that. This other girl who's a doctor of mine, Dr. Anna Marie Temples. She's the highest priced pediatrician in her city. She has a waiting list that's 3 pages long now that she goes on TV all the time in her local town. So that's an essential element. And that was a great question. Thank you. So I've talked about TV. I've talked about celebrity attachment, and I've used examples of it. And the third thing that I've talked about is speaking at very important places. Like, you know, I talked about speaking at NASDAQ, the London Stock Exchange, and Harvard, and blah, 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 blah. Those are good things, right? When you hear me say that I've spoken at those places, you think, well, that guy must be pretty smart. He must get paid pretty good money, right?
Is it true?
Well, it just so happens to be true.
Well, yeah.
I mean, look, all my clients are smart people who make a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a smart person who makes a lot of money, you want to have more impact, influence, and income, Clint can help you to get to a much higher level using these techniques. So it happens to be true, but if you want to speak at NASDAQ or the Beverly Hills Chamber of Commerce or the New York Academy of Medicine, you're not going to be able to do that without me. You're not. So, and like, if you want to meet celebrities, I lived in LA for 27 years. You know how many celebrities I met in 27 years? 5. 27 years. That's not a very reliable way. And I was in Hollywood, right? I was like, my wife was a film and TV producer. Okay, my baby's mama, who kicked me out of the house after I was driving a taxi to support us for a year. She had 5 clients who were series regulars on pilots. Her brother-in-law owned a major talent agency in Los Angeles. I was hanging out with them all the time. That's how I met 2 of the major celebrities, Matt LeBlanc and Kirstie Alley, was through them. But Simon Cowell and Randy Jackson, and I don't remember who the 5th one was.
Brooke Shields?
Think of it. But those people I just met because I was at a taping of American Idol. So of the 5 celebrities I met over the 27 years, you see, it's not so easy to meet celebrities. If you want to meet celebrities, Clint does that for clients too. I have events coming up with Cesar Millan. You know Cesar Millan?
Yep.
Right? See?
More famous people that may or may not be famous if you don't have a dog. I don't know. So tell me, so a lot of people think that they have to get ready before they can become celebrity status, because if they're not ready for the fame, like if they don't have the infrastructure to be able to handle 1,000 communications at once. So what do you say to that?
Don't worry about that. You're not going to get 1,000 communications at once. What you're going to do is you're just going to change the perception of the communications that you're already getting. The people are going to come to you predisposed to buy rather than question who are you and are you somebody and do I want to pay you a lot of money. They're going to have a conversation with their wife in bed the night before and say, oh, wow, I'm really excited. I'm going to be doing a Zoom meeting with Michelle tomorrow. And if I can hire her, I'm going to. And the wife says, well, how much is Michelle? And the guy's going to say, I don't really know. It's somewhere between 5,000 and 100,000. And if she's going to take me on as a client, I'm going to get everything I can. That's the conversation you want the prospect to have, as opposed to the prospect not even mentioning you. You want your prospect to be talking about you with their wife in bed, see? And you get that when you're a celebrity and they're excited. See, in order to get the high fees, in order to get them excited, you need to be positioned as a celebrity in the eyes of clients and prospects.
And is there certain personality types or certain businesses or certain things that are more predispositioned to this than others? Or is it kind of we just got to get together and talk and find out what your special thing is?
Well, the interesting thing is that, you know, you would think this would be perfect for extroverts. And it is good for extroverts. But the fascinating thing is when I have my seminars at my giant villa in Acapulco, Mexico, where I host most of my events these days, I always ask the question, who here is an introvert? And so many hands go up around the table, because the reality of it is that I've known I was an introvert. Yes, I'm an introvert. I've known I was an introvert since I was a little kid. I used to walk to school when I was in high school, and I would get sweat on my brow and on my upper lip because I was nervous. Because when you get to the front of the building, there's all these kids hanging out in front of high school, right? And that would make me nervous. But I would always push myself to do whatever I needed to do. And the reality of it is that I think that us introverts who are authors, speakers, coaches, advisors, consultants, experts of any kind, we know that we're responsible for paying the mortgage and the car payments. And in order to do that, we have to get comfortable being outside of our comfort zone, as Brooke Shears said on the Today Show. So it's really surprising how many introverts do this kind of stuff. The answer is that if you're a person who's got skin in the game, then celebrity entrepreneurship is your ultimate competitive advantage. I don't know what else you can really do to give yourself more of an advantage than be a celebrity in the eyes of your clients and prospects.
Awesome. Well, I could tease you a whole lot about what the reasons why you were sweating in high school going through the crowds, but I won't.
Thank you.
But I do know that a lot of our listeners are going to want to engage more with you. So how did they start that journey?
Go to Clint with 3Ts.com. Okay. Why Clint with 3Ts?
Why not?
Your name is not spelled Clint with 3Ts. One of my expert clients was the inventor of the science of namology. What does your name mean and how does it impact your life? And she said to me, Clint, I wish you could add an extra T to the end of your name because the T's always end up on top, like Trump. And leaving the politics out of this, you have to admit he's been pretty successful in his life, and I wanted more success. So I couldn't get Clint with 2Ts.com, but I did get Clint with 3Ts.com. And you will see at the bottom of it, you'll see a bunch of different things you can do with me. You see my books there, but at the bottom, if you're interested in celebrity entrepreneurship, go to the bottom where it says, yes, Clint, I'm interested in mentorship. Apply for mentorship. That's what this is about. I have people who are like me, and why do I do this? My wife and I are building a community of celebrity entrepreneurs because everybody knows celebrities hang out with other celebrities. The more celebrities we have in our lives, the more successful we are going to be and all of our friends are going to be. And we're just looking for people who want to have more impact, influence, and income to be our friends.
Nice. I love it. We will, of course, have all of Clint's links in the show notes. Scroll down, go and click on those right now. And Clint, I guess I get to ask you, at what point in life did you know that you were a special kind of crazy enough to think that you could become an entrepreneur?
The craziest thing is this, okay? And this shows you, like, how you have to have the right, like, vision of where you want your life to go. This really shows it to you. When I was at the Wharton Business School, I was talking to one of my fraternity brothers, and he goes, you should take this class called Entrepreneurship 101. And I go, what's that? And he goes, Entrepreneurship 101 is studying how do you run your own business. And I go, you can study that?
Right?
So I graduated with a major in entrepreneurship from the Wharton Business School.
Nice.
And then I had my job offer to go be an investment banker. And I told you what happened there. And then I went and followed the Hollywood dream. I thought I could make it on my own, but I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have a person who could tell me, look, this is what you need to do. You need to become famous because especially in Hollywood, if you're a nobody in Hollywood, you are really a nobody. And nobody wants to work with nobodies in Hollywood or anywhere else. Just be honest with yourself. The people you pay money to are generally, if you're an affluent buyer in today's marketplace, the people you are looking to hire and pay a lot of money to are somebody, not nobody. You're not looking for the cheapest price. You're looking for the best experience you can get because there's a lot of money and there's not a lot of time. So people want to ensure that they're going to have a great experience by hiring the best. So I didn't have that guidance, and it cost me 13 years of my life to figure out the most important lesson in business, which is who you are is more important than what you actually do yourself. So, I've been on this entrepreneurial journey since I was a young lad, a wee lad. But I've only been really killing it in the last 10 years. making 7 figures a year because of my celebrity position.
Nice. I love it. I love it. So thank you so much for your time. You've been absolutely fabulous. Any last words for our peeps?
My last words, accept the challenges so that you can feel the exhilaration of victory, because that's how you come alive. And I know it's daunting to think, oh, I'm going to create this celebrity entrepreneurship positioning for my life, but that's the challenge. And that quote comes from my favorite quote, which is from General George S. Patton. That's his quote. And that's really where it's all about.
Love it. Love it. Thank you for being here. I appreciate your time, and I know how valuable it is.
Okay. Thanks, Michelle.
Peeps, thank you for being here with us today. Be sure to share or subscribe to the show and share it with your friends. We love helping entrepreneurs grow. Thank you for listening to 7 to 8. If you're interested in upping your speaking game, be sure to connect with our guests with the links in the show notes, and connect with me to see how we can help you get your tech done for you and help your speaking dreams come true.